Good day, Market Chameleons, and everyone joining us for the first time. Thanks for coming by and watching our daily Market Chameleon webinar series. Before we get started, let's take a look at the shared disclaimer. Be aware that neither Market Chameleon, Dimitri, or myself are registered investment advisors or a broker dealer. If you're searching for investment advice, please reach out to a licensed professional. This show, as all our shows and webinars, is for informational purposes only concerning Market Chameleon tools and products. With that, one last look at the disclaimer. And let's welcome Dimitri Pargamonik to the stage. How you doing, Dima?
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Good. So today we're going to look at how to use the open and auction screener.
Yeah, and this is actually a new feature we just published. And let's first go to it. I'm going to navigate it and then we'll talk about it. So under stocks, you see non-regular hours trading. So you guys are used to the pre-market after hours, and we added this opening auction print. I'm going to go to this screener and I'm going to resort this by highest notional for now. And what this report does is it looks at the opening print. Okay, so there's a auction process at the open before regular trading starts. And what this does is it accumulates trades that are buy and sell orders in the morning that are designated to trade on regular at the open or regular trading hours. So these would not qualify for pre-market trading, because pre-market trading, you can trade pre-market. You could, if you get approved, you could trade at 8 a.m., 7 a.m., 9 a.m. But these are orders specifically designated to trade at the opening of the market or regular trading hours. And you have this accumulation of buy and sell orders, and there's a single price auction, and then continuous trading starts. Okay, so the specialist takes all the orders, the buys and sells. If there's an imbalance, he may participate out of his inventory and uh, will open it up at the most balanced price. And then regular trading hour starts. And the idea there is to see if there's anything, unusual, or how did the opening price compare to the pre-market prices traded? How did it compare to the previous day's price? And how did the volume compare? Was there a lot of volume, and certain uh, traders or even institutions can't trade outside of regular trading hours. So like mutual funds and stuff, they trade um, during regular trading hours. If there's a liquidation of uh, by the clearing firm of positions or customers or short covering, that also goes into regular trading hours. They're not going to liquidate a position or cover somebody's short because of reg show in the pre-market. It'll be the first thing at the opening price. So knowing all that, we could start looking at the opening price to get a sense of if there was anything, unusual, large amount of volume, a big and large volume associated with a big price action, big price move, right? And by doing that, we could kind of start to see maybe something's going on, something happened in the morning, what may have been, and how does the price impact afterwards. So here, we'll just go through from left to right just to see what these um, data elements mean. And then we'll do a quick screen. So here you got the stock symbol, the stock name, NVIDIA, This is the opening price yesterday, so we're not today's opening. We're still in pre-market, so there's no opening price yet. Um, so the opening price will happen later today, and then it's on a 15-minute delay. And then this report will update, so we could see here this is July 8th. It opened at 159.30. That was up from the previous day, 0.7%. So compared to the previous day's close to the opening price, up 0.7%. There was 1 million shares that traded at the open. So there's a single price, 1 million shares traded. Is that a lot for NVIDIA? Because 1 million shares is a lot, but is it a lot for NVIDIA? So here, this tells us the relative opening volume, which is 0.4. So it takes the average daily volume for the last 30 days, and then it compares it by a ratio. So, it takes 1 million divided by the average daily volume, and this is 0.4. So it's nothing that great, not a lot of relative volume behind the move. Okay. But it traded $163 million worth of stock at the open. So then we could kind of start comparing it to other benchmarks. This compares it to the previous day's close, to the relative volume. We could also look at the current price. Where did it float? Did it build upon its strength? Right? So it's up. Did it continue to build upon its strength? Where did it drift from the open? Did it open higher and then start to close that initial gap? Showing weakness. What happened afterwards? So this is tracking the after opening price. So here NVIDIA did build on top of it by the end of the day. It was up another 0.4%, which shows that not only did it open up and whatever took that liquidity on the uptick, there was more strength behind it, pushing that stock higher. Okay, so the markets demanded even uh, more liquidity from the buy side, pushing it higher. We could also compare to the could look at the pre-market volume and pre-market VWAP. So in the pre-market, keep in mind this is yesterday, we traded 3 million shares in pre-market, which for NVIDIA was 0.6. If we take the relative volume, yesterday's volume divided by the average. So even in the pre-market, we had some significant trading, but nothing that unusual on a relative basis for NVIDIA. What about the pre-market VWAP? So the pre-market VWAP was 159.39. That's the volume weighted average price of the pre-market trading. And if we compare it to the open, the opening price was 9 cents lower. So you could see that even though we opened up higher from the previous day, it would in the pre-market it even traded a little bit higher on the VWAP basis, 9 cents. Okay, so the opening price was a little bit lower than the VWAP, indicating people in the pre-market were even paying higher prices on average. And if we look at the uptick downtick over here, if we look at the very last minute VWAP, so this is looking at 1 minute's worth of trading prior to this opening price. We're at 159.33, so it traded down a little bit, 3 cents, and then obviously after that started floating up. So these are just kind of reference prices and indicators of relative prices and volume. Right? Well, how did we open up? How did that compare to the previous day's close? How did it compare to the pre-market trading? how did the opening price compare to the VWAP right before the opening? Right? Was there a big difference? Like over here, let's say in Oracle, the opening price was 237.15, but the right before the opening, the last minute of trading was 237.56, which the opening price was a little bit lower, 41 cents. Okay. So that this kind of gives us a indication of that supply and demand buildup at the opening. Those trades that were not participating in the pre-market but wanted to get an execution and willing to do it right at the open. Um, so if we want to look at the maybe relative open volume, let's look at anything like very large. Let's say above 3. So we have here a couple stocks that the relative volume was above 3. All right. So here it traded 220,000 shares, down 4.4%. And that was 3 times its average daily volume at the open. So that a pretty significant volume for that stock, and a significant move, right, down 4.4%. So whatever it was, there was a big sell uh, orders at the open, down 4.4%. Looks like afterwards, and it looks like in a pre-market, we were also trading more than 5 times its pre-market trading volume. It's down in a pre-market $2 for 147.72, traded down the last minute 145.84, and opened even lower than that. So the the price even opened lower than the pre-market VWAP, showing like more weakness, less liquidity at the open, and kind of maybe uh, settled or traded around that price after the open to the close. Um, so I'm going to stop right there just to introduce this particular screener because it's new. Up here, you could go back some days, but for July 8th, we see 232 stocks traded higher at the open, 143 lower. There's 8.9 million shares on up volume, 2.9 on down volume, $65 million worth of stock that traded higher at the open, 89 million lower. So not very busy for July, compared to the previous days. All right, well, let's, I think, stop there for today.
That's a great new feature, D. Thanks for bringing it into the Chameleon community. You have a great day, my friend.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Stay safe out there. Have a great trading day.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow, D. Bye. Everyone, thanks for joining. If you have any questions about the new feature or anything from Market Chameleon, you can email us at support@MarketChameleon.com. Questions are always appreciated. Everyone, remember to follow us on all the social apps. Thumbs up on YouTube is always greatly appreciated. Everyone have a safe trading day out there, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.